And it's a glorious time of the year because you'd have moonrise in the east and sunset in the west at exactly the same time.
What's something that you've noticed recently?
Wow, what a question. I was expecting mushroom questions. I've lived in Vermont for 2.5 years, and the mushrooms that grow in the woods are amazing.
What is it about the conditions here in Vermont that foster great mushroom growing?
It's like a rainforest. They talk about the Green Mountains. Well, for some reason, water just drops in the hills and it moves slowly through the ground. The mycelial growth and plenty of food for them. It's amazing, but it's like a rainforest.
That's really...
Out where I live, up in the hills, it's just beautiful.
Can you tell me a little bit about mushrooms and like why they're special to you and what some of their interesting qualities?
Well, you know, I'm new to mushrooms.
Okay.
Mushrooms were actually my son's passion.
Okay.
I grew up working on the water in Long Island.
Doing what?
I was a fisherman.
Oh.
I was a fisherman for my whole life. My family ran fishing boats.
Okay.
So when I realized my son's passion for mushrooms, it was a surprise. I'm new to it. So I'm learning from him every day.
Can you tell me a little bit about the fishing life?
It was what we call headboat fishing, where you take people out fishing. You run a set schedule every day, and whatever fish are running through your area, you would fish for. You'd take people out fishing for them. So it was just a way of life. You always knew what was available to catch, and you took people out to catch them.
Can you think of anything that applied that helped you be a good fisher person?
Well,
that can apply to life also?
Sure, an observer. A fisherman observes the current, he observes the wind and the weather, and always recording the conditions when you're catching fish, the conditions when you're not catching fish, and through experience and time you put it together and you maximize the probability that your passengers or your fishermen on your boat are going to catch fish. You know, it's observing, it's observations. Here at the market, your observations. You stopped here to talk to me. You were observing things, you know, so you're a fisherman.
Did you develop any sense of community with other fishermen that were?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There were hook and line fishermen. There were fishermen that towed nets. There were lobster fishermen. Many different people making their living on the water in different ways. You didn't encroach on their way of fishing with your way of fishing. You stayed away from certain people's fishing grounds. You know, there was a real community in that way.
I've never experienced that, but you lived that life.
Yeah.
Would you be open to describing a day or a moment? What would you see with regularity, and try to paint the picture with words if you can?
So I'll tell you. Look up the music of Gordon Bach.
Okay.
Gordon, B-O-K, Gordon Bach.
Okay.
Listen to his music. He describes it perfectly. I can't.
Can you think of a moment that happened on one of your fishing trips that stands out to you?
In the fall, this time of year, we would run evening trips where we'd leave the dock at about 4:30 in the afternoon and come back about 8:30 at night. Just short trips, a lot of family people on the boat. And it's a glorious time of the year because you'd have moonrise in the east and sunset in the west at exactly the same time. I'd stop the boat and try to get people to look at that and just say, wow, is this freaking outrageous, folks, or what? My fishing was people would get on the boat and come fishing. Sometimes fishing wasn't great, but it was an experience, and so I'd try to have people experience that. If fishing was bad, I'd try to tell people, yeah, but look at the birds. You can't see these birds anywhere else, folks. It was just a total experience I tried to give people. That was my deal. I think in terms of songs sometimes.
Do you sing or play or create music in any way?
Yeah, with a little glass of scotch
Okay.
once in a while. I'm having scotch today, so I'm not going to sing.
It sounds like you found a lot of connection in the existence you were just describing there. That sounds like a very connecting to the water, to the earth, to people experience. Where do you find connection now that you're like maybe living a different phase of your life?
I just love being out in the woods. You know, I go out every opportunity I can, hike the trails and look for mushrooms. And it's pretty wonderful.
Can you describe a little more what it is that you like about it, like the feeling or what that experience is like?
Well, I read an article a while ago about forest bathing, which is a walk in the woods. It's just peaceful. Connects you to the earth, connects me to the earth anyway. And that's not unlike what I felt on the water, because I don't have big diesel engines strumming underneath me, you know.